Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review, this time reviewing episode 72. As Goku's family stare at his dead body, the ki blast that Goku fired in the air before he died comes back and hits him, reviving him. Now alive, Goku still wants to face off with Hit, even if it means he might die a second time. Hit starts showcasing a whole bunch of new techniques which Goku attempts to understand and counter. In the end, Hit fails to kill Goku, but that's alright. It turns out the person who hired Hit was actually Goku in the first place, because he wanted to fight him at his full power. Hit says that regardless of who hired him, he can still try to kill Goku any time and accomplish his job, and he leaves telling Goku to watch his back. So, what did I like about this episode? Well, first of all, I really did enjoy the Goku-Hit rematch. I mean, I wasn't really expecting much, but the fight itself was way more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. In that, first of all, it was kind of like a sort of almost strategic fight. The fact is, it wasn't even necessarily just okay, everyone, let's just do your beam struggles and who's going to be the strongest. The whole point is, Hit is trying to kill Goku, and he's, using the kind of assassin techniques of basically, just trying to sort of hide in the shadows, try and do something where Goku isn't expecting it. It felt like a giant mind game where Hit is trying to use all of his different techniques, trying to catch Goku off guard, whereas Goku is just trying to get Hit to use those techniques so he can learn how they work and kind of counter them the next time it happens. It is really nice seeing Hit actually use a lot of those techniques which he said he couldn't use because they could have killed people. It actually feels like Super is trying to live up to some of its promises. Hit was holding back in the tournament. What could he do if he wasn't holding back? This is exactly what he can do. It's nice they addressed this. And the other thing I liked about this fight is that it was really much focusing on the high kind of fighting genius aspect of Goku. The whole thing is that Goku is just, Goku's this fighting genius, and, if you just drop him in any combat situation, he can basically automatically he's really good at just picking this stuff up and, learning how these different techniques work and learning exactly how to counter them. That was basically Goku through most of early Dragon Ball, and you could even say in some parts of Dragon Ball Z as well. And Super hasn't really used that aspect of Goku's character very often at all. I mean, only really episode 38, especially after all, everyone's probably got the Future Trunks arc still in their mind, where we had a lot of just Goku is dumb, Goku forgets things, Goku's not very good at anything at all. So it is nice seeing Goku actually competent in a fighting related scenario and not just forgetting things or just not understanding the situation, so that's nice to see. I've also really been liking Hit's character arc, kind of character development that he's been going through. The fact in this episode where Vados is basically Hit isn't really acting like an assassin anymore. He's acting like a martial artist. He's sort of starting to get Goku, which is also kind of sort of starting to get the thrill of actually fighting someone just purely for the sake of fighting them and not fighting them because you're hired to or because you want to kill them. I do really like Hit and Goku's sort of relationship, this kind of growing sort of weird friendship that they're getting, and I kind of do hope we get to see more of that if Hit does play a big role in the next tournament arc. Also, I'm sure some people didn't really like the twist that the person who hired Hit was in fact Goku. I personally think it makes total sense considering what his character was like at the end of the Universe 6 tournament, but the one thing in particular I really enjoyed about it is that when Goku says despite being killed by Hit, he still wants to keep fighting Hit, he tells Gohan, Piccolo and everyone, listen, I know that this is selfish and stupid, can you just please give me that? And Piccolo's well, since you've saved the world, I guess I will give you that. It was very much kind of a throwback, callback, repeat of what happened when he wanted to let Vegeta live at the end of the Saiyan arc. But I did like it. I liked that, when Goku is making a stupid decision, at least he's acknowledging it is stupid and it is selfish. I think that is the big turning point in whether, a stupid decision is, acceptable for me or not. It feels like Goku does realize the consequences of his own actions. As for what I didn't like about this episode, I mean, honestly, when you really think about it, 2 episodes is a very strange length for a mini arc, and I think that definitely showed. In that, I feel like this kind of episode, this fight didn't really have much of a proper conclusion. It felt like it was really missing a big kind of climax. The fight just kind of ended with Goku just kind of randomly overpowering Hit's time skip ability again, which I guess was an acceptable climax, but I mean, one, that's kind of an exact repeat of what happened in the Universe 6 tournament, and second of all, there was really no explanation as to what Goku actually did and how it worked, which normally I wouldn't find that much of a big deal, but the fact is, this entire episode was very much dedicated to like, okay, let's explain what these things do and how they work and how we're going to counter them, but at the end they just kind of sort of forgot to do that, so that was a little bit of a shame. So, as for next episode, it looks like they're making a Great Saiyaman movie, and Gohan is somehow getting roped in to be the stunt double, which sounds like it could be absolutely hilarious, whether or not they realize who Gohan actually is or not. Obviously, this sounds really interesting, having a Gohan-centric episode, even if it is basically a follow-up to a filler episode in the Great Saiyaman arc, which I never actually saw, so I'll probably have to brush up on that, but it's fine because it's not going to happen until 2 weeks. We're going on another week's break, so I've got plenty of time to catch up with that, and I'm always down for a Gohan episode. No, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but it is nice to see what is basically a minor character at this point getting his own focus episode, so that will be fun. So that was Dragon Ball Super episode 72. Honestly, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. The fact is, when I found out this was a 2-episode mini arc that probably wasn't going to be very important in the grand scheme of things, I thought it was probably just going to be like a complete rush job and they didn't even really think about the fight at all. It was just going to be like, they just, like, you know, punch each other and have a whole bunch of throwbacks to their fight in episode 38 and 39. But instead, they tried to do a lot more interesting things, and last episode did successfully build up the tension to make it that this episode actually felt a lot more climactic. I was honestly predicting from what was going on in these episodes that when the Universe Survival arc is going to start, they're going to immediately kill off Hit and all of Universe 6, and this mini arc was basically just made so that people aren't going to complain that Hit was killed off before we got to see all of his techniques. I'm not as sure now because this episode was kind of implying that there's still like kind of a connection between the two characters that hasn't really been resolved yet. But at the same time, even if this was just a simple something for Hit to do before he gets killed off for real, I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it wasn't the best thing in the world, but I still enjoyed it, so I guess mission accomplished. So yeah, Super's on a week's break, got another week, and then we'll get a Great Saiyaman filler episode. And yeah, Universe Survival arc doesn't start until February, so we've got a lot of time until that actually happens. So I've been enjoying a lot of the stuff that Super has been doing recently, even if none of it is important in the long run at all. So obviously, I mean, I'm still excited. We've got a lot of time to wait, but I am still enjoying the stuff that Toei is giving us right now. So this is Gabby signing out, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.